Welcome back to Lenz's Comic Corner, Classics / Non-Classics. This is episode number 959 and Doubleshot number 853. I got two Batman trades. First up it is a Batman trade by Kevin Smith. Batman Cacophony. Of course, written by Kevin Smith, artwork by Walter Flanagan. You're thinking, who the heck is Walter Flanagan? He's a friend of Kevin Smith's, and he is currently the manager of Kevin Smith's comic shop in New Jersey. Yep. And this is actually one of 3 books Walter Flanagan himself has actually worked on. The other 2 books being The Whiting Girl, another Kevin Smith book, which I have reviewed. Check out my review for it. And, of course, we also have his book from Dynamite. I, of course, never read his book from Dynamite, but that's the only books I can think of he's ever worked on. Yep. This book is by far the second DC book that Kevin Smith has ever done. The first book he did was Green Arrow, a book he did for 15 issues. Now, the first comic he worked on was Clerks. I looked up, it's Clerks. Yeah, he worked in a comic adaptation of that, and after that, he worked on any comic for quite some time until he did the Guardian Devil arc from Daredevil Volume 2, taking up the first 8 issues. And then, of course, he did Green Arrow, which I've heard from an interview he actually worked, when he really passed on basically directing Superman, but he actually was offered to direct Superman Returns. The Death of Superman Returns. The Death of Superman. The live action film. Superman Returns. Yeah, he actually was offered to direct that. He passed on it, and of course he said he did want to write Green Arrow. He did 15 issues, basically did the 10-part Quiver, which brought back Green Arrow, and the 5-issue arc that came right after that. After that, he did this next. This 3-issue miniseries. Yes, 3 issues. Oh, he did do one other series from Marvel aside from Daredevil. He did work on the controversial miniseries Spider-Man / Black Cat, The Evil the Men Do. The series they revealed that when Black Cat was in college, she was raped. Yep, I have no idea why Kevin Smith thought that was a good idea. And plus, though, the fact this series was released over the course of 3 years. This series surprisingly was released on time. Though Kevin Smith is still noteworthy for being a little lazy. But not with this series, no. It starts off it's the second series to feature basically the villain Onomatopoeia. Yeah, he shows up in here, and this is Batman's first encounter with him. Yep. Now, in the case of this particular 3-issue miniseries, they mentioned Onomatopoeia's encounter with Connor Hawke, aka the second Green Arrow, in the second arc of Kevin Smith's run for Green Arrow, which has been collected like twice in Green Arrow by Kevin Smith and in its own individual trade. Yep. And with this one, Onomatopoeia. Now, first you have Deadshot who shows up. As far as I can tell, this is the first time Kevin Smith has ever Deadshot. He writes some pretty interestingly. He also has an interesting thing he does with Deadshot in here, which I'll get to in a minute. And he says he's hired by a parent of a child who was killed via overdosing on a drug that the Joker created. And he was hired to kill him. Okay. Oh yeah, and they also poke fun of the fact that Joker misses bars. Well, because he went to jail a few times. Yep, and he basically breaks it. He tries to kill the Joker, and then we hear a sound effect, and it's Onomatopoeia. Yep, one of 2 times he's actually appeared in a Batman book. Yep, Onomatopoeia. Let me show you what the guy looks like. Yeah, this is basically how Walter Flanagan draws him. Though I should point out though, Joker and Deadshot are not the only Batman villains show up in here. Here's Onomatopoeia. I should point out, though, the whole time this character has shown up, he's always looked like this. That's generally his look. Now, aside from Joker and Deadshot, the only Batman villain show up here, there's 2 of them. You have Maxie Zeus. Yep. Anyone remember Maxie Zeus? A character who also appeared for 1 episode of Batman the Animated Series, who also referred Batman as frickin' Hades, because he dresses in black, obviously. And what Maxie Zeus is, he's a guy who's convinced, because he's insane, he thinks he is Zeus, the king of the Greek gods. And apparently he gave that up for a while, and then he got back into it after his nephew's death. By the hands of the Joker. Yep. And there is one other Batman villain that shows up in here, and that's Victor Zsasz. Yep. As far as I know, this is the first and only time Kevin Smith has ever written Victor Zsasz that I could think of. I don't remember if he showed up Winding Girl because it's been a while since I read Winding Girl. Yeah, so he basically Batman trails him for a while. I love the fact he actually does some research on Olympia, though the research is very vague. There's nothing to this character at all. Oh, and by the way, by the time Olympia's last appearance, which was Winding Girl number 6, no one knows who the heck Olympia is because except Kevin Smith, as far as I can tell, has kept a secret for years. This miniseries was released in... Let's see, it was released in 2009. Yep. This book is actually really good. I'm going to give this book a 9.5 out of 10. It's really good. If I get a chance to meet Kevin Smith, I'm bringing this one with me to give him signed. It's actually the first book I actually own that's written by Kevin Smith, but not the first book I reviewed that he's actually done. I've also reviewed the miniseries Spider-Man, Black Cat, Evil Men Do, which I've mentioned that. I've also reviewed Batman 66, Batman 66 meets Green Hornet, and Batman Winding Girl. Yep. Those are the only books I can think I've ever reviewed. The only other books there's one other book that Kevin Smith has done, aside from doing at least 3 Batman miniseries. This one, Winding Girl, and Batman 6 Green Hornet, and of course doing the 15 issues for Green Arrow, plus the Secret Files Origins for Green Arrow. There's also the 80 issues of Daredevil. There is one other comic he has done, and that was he did a few years writing Green Hornet. Yes, he adapted a script he wrote for Green Hornet movie that was never made. I've read it. It's really good. Yep. Excuse me. The thing about Kevin Smith is that he's a good writer. I love his comedy. Now, in case you might ask, have I seen any film he's directed? The answer is yes, I have. 1, Chasing Amy. That is by far the only film I have ever seen he's directed. I've never seen Clerks or Clerks 2 or any other film aside from Chasing. I've never seen Dogma, and that's the film he directed. I've never seen Mallrats or any other film that he's directed. Or not even, I've seen Tusk. And Tusk, I heard, got a lot of critical acclaim because it was technically the first horror film I could think of that he has written and directed. Because generally Kevin Smith does comedy, not horror. I've heard it's really good. I've seen some images of it. I've never seen the film. And he has done a film with his daughter, Harley Quinn Smith, and Rose Depp, the daughter of actor Johnny Depp. But, yeah. But this is really good. Now to move on to another Batman book. Batman Beyond 2.0, Volume 1, Rewired. Collecting the Batman Beyond stories from the first 8 issues of Batman Beyond Universe. Yeah, this is during a period of time when Batman Beyond was released digitally. Yep, this was a digital first book. I think this contains like the first 16 chapters of Batman Beyond. Yeah, the thing about Batman Beyond Universe is that it was a book that basically reprinted like basically chapters that were printed for... Basically, there were 3 of them. There was actually about 2 of them published at this point in time. It was just Batman Beyond and Justice League Beyond. They basically were like 10-page stories, and like after a crossover between Batman Beyond and Justice League Beyond, where they fought the Justice Lords from the animated series, basically the book became simply a Batman Beyond book for the remaining issues. The series itself didn't last very long. It lasted about 20 issues. In this book, there are 2 story arcs in here. First, of course, is basically Batman Beyond finding this guy. And his name is David Dusk. He's the son of the mayor of Gotham City. He was actually killed at the start of the storyline here. And Terry McGinnis is no longer working with Bruce Wayne. He's working with Dick Grayson, who's become the DC version of Nick Fury. He's got the eye patch, works behind the scenes. There's references to him being Nightwing in here. We also have encountered with a few noteworthy Batman villains. Well, Batman Beyond villains, mind you. Yes. Yeah, we have... Let's see if I can find them here. Yeah, there was a handful of them appearing on one page who disguise themselves as the previous Batman family. Basically, Batman, Nightwing, the Tim Drake Robin, and Batgirl. Let's see if I can find them here. Okay, here we go. They were Spellbinder, Shriek, and Ink. Yep, these four people who did appear in the show. Yes, they have appeared in the show. Ink in this series was revealed to be later on the mother of Terry McGinnis' girlfriend, Diana. And Melanie, formerly of the Royal Flush Gang, she pops up in here as well. The book ends with basically Terry asking her on a date. And I should point out, though, in the Dan Jurgens Batman Beyond book, this relationship was actually canon to that particular series. Well, Melanie being attracted to Terry McGinnis, but not knowing he's Batman Beyond. Yep. And yeah, he's the thing about this particular guy. For some reason, the artist of the book draws him to look almost exactly like Terry McGinnis. I don't know why, but it's bizarre. The book is written by Kyle Higgins. The artwork is by Tony Salas. Yeah, he is the artist on here with Eric Wright. The cover art here is actually done by Sean Murphy. Yeah, Sean Murphy and Jordan Belair. Yep. Yeah, I should point out though, if you look inside this trade, you see this particular credit. Look at this credit. This is Batman created by Bob Kane. This is before they actually added the word with Bill Finger. Yeah, because this book was released in, let's see, 2014 this was released. Yeah, this was like a year before Bill Finger was finally recognized and given his co-credits that he has rightfully earned for years as the co-creator of Batman, despite the fact that, well, Bob Kane claimed for years that he was the sole creator of Batman, despite the fact a lot of ideas for Batman came from Bill Finger. Yep. The second story in here involves Man-Bat. Yes, Man-Bat, who did appear as a recurring character on the Batman animated series. Yeah, this is an adaptation of the TV show. Nothing to do with the run by Dan Jurgens. This has nothing to do with it at all. Though some of the stuff from the TV show is semi-canon to that comic book. Yep. Now, there's accounts between Batman and Kurt Langstrom, aka Man-Bat, who Kurt Langstrom is stuck in his Man-Bat form, grown a beard for some reason, and fell in love with a woman who is about 30 years younger than he is. Yep, and apparently she's a former patient of his. Oh yeah, and it's also revealed in here what happened to his beautiful wife. She died. Yep, she died. Francine died of an illness. And he had two kids named Max and Michelle, who after their mother's death basically became estranged from him, and he basically became Man-Bat full-time. Yeah, it's quite interesting, though, the fact that he became a full-fledged villain in here. Probably the first time since his debut episode on Leather Wings from the animated series, which was technically the first episode made for this series, despite the fact it was not the first episode that was aired. Yep. And I love the interaction between Barbara Gordon and well, not only Terry McGinnis, but also Barbara Gordon and Nightwing. Yep. This by far really good set of two really good storylines. I know my friend Tiva, he loves Batman Beyond. I initially watched some of Batman Beyond when it was on the air. I did later on. I did watch the entire series via YouTube, and I loved it. Heck, I even own Return the Joker on VHS. And this series is that damn good. Heck, I even loved the Batman animated series in the 90s. I love the series so much, though, that I basically tried to find it online. YouTube apparently won't allow any episodes except some clips. Though I was able to find it on Netflix, no problem. And I think Hulu's got it too. I did see it at Walmart. You won't believe how much costs at Walmart to get the entire series. It's like $60. I'm not paying that much for a DVD for a complete series. Though I did get the complete series of the Quantum Leap. I got that for like about $30. Yeah. This, of course, is really good. I'm going to give this book a 9.5 out of 10. Here's the thing about this trade. Its original cover price was $16.99. I got this for $4. Yep. But it's well worth getting it for $4 because you get a very good set of storyline. Yeah, am I thinking of getting more Batman Beyond trades? Well, mostly stuff related to pre-Flashpoint stuff. I'm not interested in getting the current stuff. Nothing against Dan Jurgens. I love Dan Jurgens' work. It's just that I don't have a current interest to buy the current stuff right now. Though I have reviewed the entirety of the New 52 era for Batman Beyond. It was a 16-issue run. The current volume, I believe it's like almost 30. I think it's like about 40 issues in it right now. I think so. So yeah. Excuse me, that's it for this particular review. I have 2 more reviews coming today, and I'll review the newest episode of Fairy Tail and the 2 newest chapters of Black Butler. Okay, but to you in the next review. Bye.